Estimating a sum of whole numbers, problem type 1. All right, so in this one, we're literally estimating to find the sum, and sum means to add of whole numbers, means no decimals. So they're nicely rounded off numbers, and this is problem type 1, just means it's the first type of problem that they came up with for this one. So for each number, what it wants us to do is round to the nearest tenth. And it tells us that round each number to the nearest 10. So down here, if you can see, they highlighted 9 in red because that's the tens for 91, and then they put 8 in blue because that's the tens for 86. So we need to decide which one is it closer to. So when I'm talking about rounding to the nearest tens, for 91, I need to decide, is it closer to 90 or is it closer to 100? Well, 1, as long as, so if it's 4 or smaller, we go this way. If it's 5 or bigger, we go this way. So that's 4 or smaller, so we're going to go to 90. So same thing, if with 86, we need to decide, is it closer to 80 or is it closer to 90? So remember, 4, we round down, 5 or bigger. Oop, I forgot the 5. We round up. So 6 is 5 or bigger, so we round up to 90. So we rounded down to 90, we round up to 90, that's how they got 90, 90. They add those together and they get 180. So this is just an estimation. 91 plus 86 is about 180. And they even tell you down here the exact sum is 177. So that's pretty darn close to 180. And that's a pretty good check too. If you actually add them together, you should be pretty close to your rounding. If you're too far off, it means that you probably rounded in the wrong direction at some point. All right, so let's go ahead and do this first one. So we have 842, and we want to round to the nearest 10. So we're rounding to this 4 here. So we need to decide, is it closer to 840 or 850, because we're rounding to tens. So remember, we look at the 2. If the 2 is 4 or smaller, we round down. If it's 5 or bigger, we round up. So 2 is smaller than 4, we round to 840. So we're going to have 840 right here. And then our next number is 73. So again, we're rounding to the tens column. So we have to decide, is it closer to 70 or 80? So we look at the 3. If it's smaller than 4 or smaller, we round down. If it's 5 or bigger, we round up. So it's 4 or smaller, so we round to 70. So we actually rounded both of them down a little. So that's actually one thing too, is if you round both down, your answer is going to be smaller than the actual answer. If you round them both up, your answer is going to be larger than the actual answer. So if you round one up and one down, it actually evens out a little better, but it's still going to be a little off because you're rounding. All right, so let's go ahead and type these in. So we have 840, whoops, up if I typed 40, and 70. And then what we want to do is add them together. So I want 840 and I want to add 70. So I have 0, 7 plus 4 is 11, and then 9 from that column. All right, so we get 9, 10. Let's go ahead and check that. We're good to go. Clear. Next. Okay. So now we're going to do 379. And again, we're rounding. Now we're rounding to the nearest hundreds place. So the hundreds place. So now we need to decide 300 or 400. So we look at the 7. And if it's 4 or smaller, we round down. If it's 5 or bigger, we round up. So 7 is 5 or bigger, so we're going to go up to 400. So this is going to be a 400. And then we have 465, and we're rounding to the hundreds place. So we're deciding, is it closer to 400 or 500? So I look at the 6, because we always look at the number right after it. Is it smaller than 4? Or is it 5 or bigger? So it's 4 or smaller, 5 or bigger. So 6 is 5 or bigger. So we're going to round up. So in this case, we're rounding both numbers up. So then I just add these two together, and I get 0, 0, and 9. So let's go ahead and type these in. So I get 400, 500, and 900. We're going to check. And we're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to round to the nearest 10 again. So we have 5, 7, 5. We're rounding to the tens column. So we have 570 or 580. So we look at the number right after it. Is it 4 or smaller or 5 or bigger? It's 5 or bigger, so I'm going to go to the 580. So we're going to have 580 over here. And then we have 283, and we're going to round that to the tens. So it's either going to be 280 or 290. So I look at the number right after it, the 3. Is it 4 or smaller or 5 or bigger? 4 or smaller, so we round down to 280. And then we add these two together, so we get 0, 16, and then we get 7, 8. All right, so let's go ahead and type these all in. So we get 580, 280, and 860. Check. All right, so we finished another one.